This video is going to take you through a review of the law of sines, and before we review how to use it, which you learned back in your geometry class, we're just going to take a minute to derive the formula. So this law will work for non-right triangles, but in order to prove it, we're going to make this into two right triangles. We're going to drop down the altitude and put an h for the height there. So if you were to do sine of A, we're going to focus on angle A and we're going to put angle B. If you do sine of A, and you use the smaller right triangle, that will be h over B, opposite over the hypotenuse of that triangle. Sine of B, or angle B, will be h over A. If we solve each of those equations that we just created for h, we can now do a little substitution and set them equal. Both are equal to h, so we're going to set them equal to each other. Are there different formats of this formula? I prefer the one that has sine on top, but there's other formats that have the side measures on the numerator. So in order to keep the trig function on top, we're going to divide out both sides by AB. What that will do is it will cancel out. D on the left side will get sine of A over side A equals sine of angle B over side B. If you look right underneath this on your paper, you could repeat to show that they would equal sine C over C. We don't need to do that because it would just be a matter of changing or rotating the angles around and putting C in a different spot or changing which altitude that you draw in. So law of sines is sine of an angle over its opposite side is equal to sine of a different angle over its opposite side. So it'll be working with proportions, which is a fairly easy concept to work with. If you flip to your next page, you're going to see a problem. And this one will involve two angles and a missing side. We did not include the types of problems where there are two sides and an angle because that's an entire special case with three different scenarios that we will look at in the future. So right now you're going to be looking at the two angles with a side type of example. So here we have angles A and B and then side C. Always easy to find the missing angle because you know two of them. Angle C is going to be 180 minus the sum of the other two angles. That's the sum of angle A plus B. And that's going to give us 100 degrees. Make sure you fill in those degree symbols. Then to find our missing sides, we can set up two proportions. Sine of 100 degrees over side C, which is 9, is equal to, let's find side A first, sine of 50 degrees, which is angle A, over side A. You can literally put this in your calculator all in one shot. You would do 9 times sine of 50 divided by sine of 100, and that will give you 7. And then you can do, again, sine of 100 over 9 equals sine of 30 over B. Again, if you do in your calculator 9 times the sine of 30 and then divide by the sine of 100, you will get the other missing side, which is 4.57. So no matter what, since you have to find that missing angle, I would just do that first, regardless of what side you are given. Although we needed angle C to do the law of sines, there are other scenarios where you might not need it to do the law of sines with the two angles. You're going to have to find it anyway, so you might as well do that first. You'll be watching another video to refresh your memory for law of cosines.